Dysthamic Dad here. Tonight I'm doing a video on sabotaging, narcissistic boredom, and how narcissists thrive in chaos. Now, normal people thrive in an environment, relationships that are consistent, stable, to some degree quiet, and safe. Narcissists do not. And I think the main reason for this is, related to what's commonly known as narcissistic boredom, where, as a normal person, if you feel boredom, it, might be a little bit annoying or, even restful, depending on the situation, but not a big deal. The narcissist feels boredom as basically pain. An analogy might be an itch, where over time that itch builds and builds and builds until the narcissist is compelled to scratch it. And I think that to a large degree, based upon what I've read and what self-aware narcissists have said, that this is the reason, the vast majority of the time, why narcissists will sabotage, say relationships, when otherwise things are going really well. Typically you'd have a situation where, maybe for a couple of days, couple weeks, couple months, things are smooth. They're really nice, and you can kind of feel comfortable. And then out of nowhere, the narcissist grabs the grenade, pulls the pin, and throws it at their feet and explodes the relationship. Notice how I said the narcissist throws the grenade at their own feet. That's something that's always been confusing to me, but it makes sense from the perspective of the narcissist, where the narcissist, when they sabotage a relationship that is consistent, peaceful, safe, nice, they're not necessarily doing that to hurt or aggravate their partner. They're doing it to basically deal with their own boredom. That itch has become so painful that they have to just throw that hand grenade down, blow everything up for themselves. I mean, that's the thing. That chaos that they create, in their life and their relationships, everyone else is just bewildered by it. They don't understand, like, why does this person keep, they accomplish a goal, they get to a good place in their life, and then they just blow it all up. And it's because the narcissist, to a large degree at that point, simply becomes bored with the consistency and the safety. It is painful. They crave excitement and change and ultimately chaos. And so that is, the main reason why they do that. Hand in hand with that, a secondary bonus, if you will, of sabotaging, say, a relationship, is that they can cause pain to their partner. They can cause emotional distress. And so when the narcissist throws the grenade down, blows up the relationship, this would typically look like the narcissist starting a fight over nothing, or deliberately poking or crossing a boundary that they've been good about up until then, or mentioning something that they know is a trigger for their partner, or, having like a behavior change, or doing something drastic just to get an emotional reaction out of their partner. And at that point, when they see their partner, just, kind of overcome with emotion, whether that's distress, pain, sadness, anger, frustration, disappointment, the narcissist is getting a high off of that. They think that's great. They're like, this is one of my favorite flavors of supply. Keep it coming. And so they'll do the word salad. They'll flip the script. They'll blame their partner for what they did. I mean, all the typical tricks. And the whole time, the narcissist is in heaven. They're just getting all this supply. And not only that, but narcissists are obsessed with control. Now, normally you would think someone obsessed with control might be like some, Machiavellian psychopath or something like that. But the tool that the narcissist will often use to gain control, or I should say, gain a feeling of control, is causing chaos. And so when things are consistent, safe, peaceful in the relationship, the narcissist doesn't feel like they're pulling the strings. They don't feel like they control their partner. And that aspect kind of bothers them too. And so this like kind of added bonus, if you will, is if when they sabotage the relationship and they trigger their partner and their partner has this emotional outburst, that at that point the narcissist feels like, oh, I'm controlling my partner. I can use word salad and gaslight my partner, and they'll do what I want them to do, what I'm manipulating them to do. So again, and I honestly, I think that's more secondary typically to simply the narcissistic boredom when things are going well. The third and final reason that I'll bring up for this is going back to their childhood. And, as I've described and, others have described, the situation that creates a narcissist is really terrible. And to be clear, narcissists are not born, they're made. There's a very clear idea of the environment that a child from the ages from like 2 up until 4 or even 5, that if they experience this environment, there's a good chance they're going to not compensate, but build a coping mechanism that becomes the false self. They become a narcissist. And the environment that creates a narcissist involves neglect, abuse of many different kinds, and both together. And as you can imagine, that type of environment would be very chaotic. And the child would feel that they have no agency or control or anything over that chaos, which, as a parent, and if you're a parent, you understand this, children crave and thrive in a structured environment, a safe, stable, consistent environment. And so that environment of chaos that creates the narcissist and that feeling of being out of control, obviously goes deep so that it becomes basically, an impulse or, a compulsion or a, instinct for the narcissist in adulthood. So that a third reason why the narcissist may grab that hand grenade and sabotage their life and create the chaos is because, at least in that case, they feel like they're and it's going to sound crazy, but they feel like they're in control. So whereas in childhood it was the parent or parents creating this chaos, and the child had no say, and honestly, the child was caught off guard. It was a surprise when the chaos would hit them. When the narcissist is an adult, they can choose when to introduce that chaos into their life. And by doing so, they feel like they're kind of dealing with that aspect of their childhood trauma. I mean, obviously, it is incredibly unhealthy, toxic to themselves, toxic to the people around them. But again, trauma makes people do weird stuff. And again, it's it's like a compulsion. It's like this really base level instinct that this is practically below unconsciousness or subconsciousness, just deep. And so that's a third reason why the narcissist may just introduce chaos when otherwise everything is going well. Because again, when everything's going well, they may start to worry, because part of them's going back to childhood and said, okay, when things are going well, that doesn't last. When things are going well, that gets scary, because I don't know when the chaos is going to hit. And so as an adult, they may not rationally and consciously be aware of like that thought process, but the impulse, the compulsion is there. And to deal with it, they will say, okay, I am choosing to introduce the chaos before it comes externally. So anyways, I thought this would be a good video to make, because I know for myself, watching narcissists sabotage their relationships and honestly their own lives when things are going so well is just bewildering to me. And like I said, I mean, I've seen it where narcissists will literally talk about goals that they want to achieve with their life, in their life, work really hard, achieve them, get to that point. And instead of celebrating and making that like their new base to live a consistent, stable life, they'll pull out the hand grenade and sabotage it, which is really, in a way sad to see. But at the same time, how much empathy can you have for someone who is doing it themselves, to themselves? So hopefully this video has been helpful. Thanks.